All right. I think everything is loading up and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Before I eat my real breakfast, I thought I would sit down, do a Q&A with you guys and gals, kind of a midday lunchish one. We'll see if we get anybody in here or not. We never know. These can be hit or miss. Between projects for a minute, waiting to eat my real meals. I had my protein shake, which I put up, but I want to wait just a little bit to eat. I just got the workout vlog up. I've had a pretty good workout today. Good stuff. I mean, the upper body didn't really go up, other than some of the shoulder work did, but the lower body stuff did really good. We hit a 405 for 6 back squat, hit 500 for 6 on the deadlift, and I got depth on all of that. That was the main thing on those squats. I reached depth on all of them, and that's kind of a big deal. That's an important thing in all of it. So I was really happy with that top set. Right, really, really happy with that. So again, good workout, but I thought, hey, let's get everybody in here. Let's see if we can get some people in. And before I do one for this afternoon, I may do a topic. I may not. We'll see. I feel like topics work a little bit better. All right. I feel like it does a little better if we get a topic going for those. So, I'll see what I come up with. I do need to investigate the whole Nippard Solomon thing. I haven't really done it. All right. I haven't done it. I probably should look into it a little bit. All right. Why is the only bicycle exercise you do 2 sets of band curls and very into workouts? No, because quite frankly, Yeti, my arms were bigger when I did no curls. Like if you go back and look, this has been also hit the like button, guys. Got to hit like, please. So here's the thing. Are my arms bigger after having done all these curls for years? No. My arms are actually, they look smaller when I do certain things and look at the views of it. And other people compared say your arms did look a little bigger. We go back 8-9 years ago. I wasn't doing any direct arm work. Zero. My arms looked bigger. Just off of compound movements, occasionally some hammer curls. So I guess my answer to that is no, I'm not necessarily worried about it. I've measured them a while back. So they are 16 and a half right now. I feel like my arms were like 18 back then. Like realistically, they probably were. I wasn't measuring, but realistically, right? You do need to build the other. Well, I'm going to work on shoulders. So that's kind of like I don't have time to just specialize in a bunch of isolation. And I don't think any of us need to, right? I don't think any of us need to. But in the case of delts, that's really where I need to put the work. Jason, I think the massive increase in work capacity from all the running is the reason behind the strength gains. Possibly work capacity is up. But I do feel like at this point, if I get leaner, looking at my physique, honestly, delts are going to give me the most. Is there a reason nobody has hit like at all? We got comments. All right, and nobody's liking. People have been really stingy on likes lately. I noticed the same thing in the coffee chat. Like we had no likes. The afternoon ones, people will do it. They'll sometimes get 20 plus. But anything before the late afternoon, people won't hit the button. It's a very strange thing. All right. So there we go. All right. The increase in work capacity could be a factor, Joe. And now that I'm rotating over, I'm doing lots and lots of GBP. Hey, Strong. How would I know? Strong as hell. Ask, will Primo ever be available again? I'm going to ask you a question. And I'm going to say this very nicely. Do you believe that I have deep connections deep inside China? Do you think I have pharmaceutical or government connections in China? So if I don't have those connections, there's no way I could possibly have an answer. You're going to have to find someone who has deep connections deep into the Chinese government or deep into the pharmaceutical labs in China, like in Beijing. That's the only way you're getting any answer to that. I'm not at that level. I'm not on anything other than the replacement dose of test, Scotty. I am on like actual legit TRT test set with nothing, and I mean no ancillaries, nothing for side effects, nothing. Are rotational sandbags beneficial for fat loss? Can you recommend anybody that uses them? No, why would they be? I mean, anything that burns calories, but walking probably burns more fat than rotational sandbags. You know, anything that technically burns calories will help burn fat, or you could eat less or both, right? But no. I mean, if you start talking resistance training, you better be working some big muscles. I'm not going to go into my exact, and I know people get kind of miffed. I actually don't answer it just because it really pisses people off for me to not give the answer on the dose. I'm intentionally avoiding it just to be trite. And I will only give the answer that I am inside the reference range. And here's why that's the most relevant part. Because 6 different people could have a completely different dose from their doctor that puts them at the same test level. Makes sense? So if I simply don't answer it, then everyone knows that I'm in the normal range. Because if I give a number, someone out there will say, well, I think that that's whatever, super physiological. So they'll create the argument. And so for me, it's just easiest to say that I am inside the reference range on the blood work. So here's my question. Would it matter what my dose is? For your purposes, for applying it to yourself, would it matter? Meaning, I could be on anywhere between 100 and 200 milligrams, and we'll have the same answer depending upon the way that I personally respond. Right? So. And yes, I intentionally avoid answering it just because it seems to really, 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 really upset some haters. And that alone is reason enough to not give the number, just because of the amusement factor. Is that fair, strong as hell? Or you're out here claiming 500, but that's not, but no reasonable person claims that. Okay. Now, can they claim they're inside the reference range at 500? There's no way that's possible. The highest dose I have ever heard of a person staying in the reference range on was 250, and that's an extreme outlier. I guarantee you 98% of the population is going to be super physiological at 250, right? Maybe 99, maybe even higher. I have known of one guy I've heard of ever who was right at the tip, like something like almost 1,000 nanograms per deciliter at 250. But that's an extreme outlier. How do you get the veins in your arms like that? Years of lifting, high conditioning. All right. Yeah, so exactly strong. 250 had you at 2,100. So you respond better. So honestly, for you, 125 might put you all the way near the top. I knew some guy who took 300 or 1,600. See, that's actually below average. Like I would expect them to be higher than 1,600 by a little bit. I would expect closer to 2,000 for most guys. So this is someone who's a slight under responder, right? In terms of blood levels versus the dose, right? So, but what I will say for me, for my ratios, 150 will put me at around 800. Personally, 150 puts me about 800, 700 to 800. How do you determine when a lifter becomes intermediate from novice? I mean, does it matter is the real question. I mean, we could use charts on it. We could look at rates of progression, right? We could look at progression rates. But the problem with the progression rates, The problem with using progression rates, they could be training like trash. Their training could be trash dumpster training. Their recovery could be bad. They could drink alcohol. They could be eating a non-great diet. And therefore, all of a sudden, we think they're an intermediate because they're not progressing at a novice rate anymore. But their lifestyle is compromising it. So normally I would say, look, we could use that criteria. And then we'd program them like an intermediate. Right? So, I mean, what's one of the biggest differences that we would think about in terms of a novice versus an intermediate? Sets of 5 for sets across with linear progression doesn't work anymore when you're an intermediate. That's the biggest difference. So that's the only reason. Are you on any test? Am I dead, Hazel? So here's the question you would ask. Am I dead? So no, I'm alive. Have I gotten up on camera complaining, hey guys, I'm really depressed lately and I can't get an erection and I've lost interest in pussy? So have I made a video saying, hey guys, my dick doesn't work, and like I was with 2 girls the other day and I just wasn't interested at all. I went and played a video game instead of eating their pussies. So have I made a video like that? And got up and said, guys, I'm really depressed. I just kind of don't want to work out or work or do anything. Have I made any such videos, Hazel? So, and since I have not made such a video, could you assume that I'm on testosterone? But I'm still working out. Like I didn't just say, hey guys, I don't want to work out or anything anymore. Fuck it. So that's would be the videos you would be seeing from me if I was not on testosterone. It's pretty straightforward. So given that I have not made any such video, why would you feel the need to ask? I'm 100% serious. Like I'm not trolling you. I'm being serious. So since I haven't made a video like that, why would you ask that? Plus, we already answered it just 5 minutes ago. I literally said I'm on a prescription of Test-Sit from the doctor, keeping me in the normal range. So, we just had a whole conversation about it right before you got here. So here's the funny thing. If you get someone who says they're on TRT, oh, there we go, Hazel. Hazel, you have outed yourself. Kapow! And Hazel is out of here. I knew it, by the way. No, we already knew you were the troll. And you're out of here. Kapow, Hazel. I answered that way because you were obviously a goofball troll. And I like to be condescending to trolls. What's a good intermediate temper? Someone who cannot afford coaching at the moment. I mean, you can mess with some 531. You can go into conjugate. You could imitate what some of my clients do in the training vlogs that I put up. Have you heard of UGL shortages of testers? Of course, master on a Primo cook, but I haven't heard of that. No, everyone I know still got tests. What's the high chair behind you? That is my bike. That's my cardio bike. Right? I was right, Coach. Jason, what special sports supplements would be best for hybrid athlete? Testosterone or growth hormone? What did Lance Armstrong take? What is it public knowledge that Lance Armstrong took through his own admission? What was the Lance Armstrong stack? When he was winning all that stuff. Testosterone. He was on test. He was on growth hormone. He was on EPO. What do most serious hybrid athletes do? Testosterone, growth hormone. Some of them like Boldenine. No, that's a tray for holding a laptop or desk stuff. It's a desk bike. So all those cardios that you guys saw me doing on the bike in here, that was on that thing. Later, cool. Yeah, I should be doing a stream again later too. Take care. Yep. I kind of thought y'all knew that. I thought the regulars knew that was the bike. But I suppose we might occasionally need clarification for things like that. Our coach is looking in that thumbnail today. I feel like I'm recomping personally this body weight. Slowly but surely. Because people are like, you look bigger. Well, if I'm not gaining weight and I'm getting bigger, then I have to be losing fat. You can't work both ways. You can't be getting bigger while keeping 100% of your body fat if you're not gaining weight. Have you ever thought of recording a live workout? I've never thought about it. I will probably never think about it, and the odds of me doing it are 1,000,000 to 1. I would consider it for a very, very, very large donation from a fan. But I mean, it's not going to be no $100 isn't going to cut the mustard. Because I dread the idea. It would interfere so much with what I do. It would be such a massive interference with my life and my schedule and setting it up and with my workout, and then not being able to get over and deal with whatever nonsense trolling is happening. I would need like maybe $1,000. And I'm not even janking your chain. I'm like actually serious. I'd maybe negotiate $500 or $600. But that's kind of like, well, for the live stream or workout, we over at Serious OnlyFans love a request because it would really disrupt my day a lot. I don't even know how I'd set it up. I mean, would you use a phone? I guess definitely not dragging a computer into my workout area. I think what I do works really great to just vlog them. If I explain what I do, you get to watch all the work sets. You get to watch the work sets, and I explain all of it as I go. Have you ever heard of Ross Edgy? No. 405 Major who swam 1,000 miles around Iceland. A lot of people consider him the fittest man in the world. Yeah. I'm not sure how we quantify that with the fittest. I mean, how are we defining swam 1,000 miles? Like in one time? So, I need a context for this. I feel like the vlogs actually work way better for everybody. Because I'm not going to stop and talk to you guys while I work out, guys. I'm training. Like, if you think I'm going to stop and talk to you in the middle of a workout, there's a snowball's chance of hell of that happening. So, I mean, it would just be, I don't know what people would get out of it. They want to watch me change the weights. They want to watch me pace around. They want to watch me post on social media in between sets. I mean, hey, Keith, who told you that? By the way, I think they're both phenomenal choices. I think there's a lot of personal preferences. He said an AR versus a 12 gauge for home defense. I use both. I have both loaded. I have ARs ready, and I do have a Mossberg 500 with buckshot also stowed in a specific room for easy access. It's hidden. No, the correct loads with an AR are going to have less over penetration than a shotgun. Yeah. So, no, I think we can make a strong case for both. I feel like on the penetration end of the appropriate rounds in an AR is actually probably a hair safer. Something that fragments, right? So you're using something frangible. I go so far as to say even a lot of mil-spec stuff quite frankly. Because what are you using in the shotgun? You're not using birdshot for home defense, are you? It's none of your business how many guns I own. Where are you from, the government? Where do you, ATF? ATF in here. Got the ATF in here. Look at it. Agent Coon. We going up for a kapow, buddy. Agent Coon is in here trying to find out how many guns I own. Clearly that's a Fed. All right, kapow or go. We voting on it. All right. Kapow, the gun grabber. Kapow, kapow, 2 kapows, 1 geek. Kapow, the Fed. Agent Coon, you are out of here, Booyakasha. So, right. So it's kind of like that one joke, right? So if the ATF believes that you have 12 firearms, right? You guys ready? If the ATF believes that you have 12 firearms and you lose 10 of them in a boating accident, how many do you have left? Anybody know the answer? So let me say that again. If the ATF believes that you own 12 firearms and you lose 10 of them in a tragic boating accident, how many do you have left? Keith is close. The correct answer is 27. All right. The answer is 46. Actually, I lost all of mine in a tragic boating accident. They're at the bottom of Lake Somerville. Yeah. I only have 221 dumbbells. I have female wrists and hands. How do I grow them effectively? Well, are you like transition? Like were you were born a female and then you transit? I don't understand the question. I don't know. Maybe you should have just considered staying a woman. Jason, I asked Grok who would win in a fight between you and Jeff Niver, and he said you 9 out of 10 times. I don't know who Grok is, but you know, I mean, I'd probably just hold Nippert at bay with one arm while he swings at me. We represent that meal. You know, I got a pretty long wingspan. I don't know if he could actually reach me. I did that. Grok is a chat GDP. Oh, chat GPT said that. Nice. It's hilarious. Oh, Lord. Get those likes up, though, guys. Come on, hit that like. How we got rid of the Fed. Asking people how many guns they have. What an inappropriate question. You're clearly not American. He doesn't know. This was a cultural breach. You never reveal how many you have. I don't have any. I lost all of them actually today. I lost all of them today in a tragic boating accident. So I went out on a boating trip right before my workout after the coffee chat, and all of them were lost at the bottom of Lake Somerville. Ask who would win in the fight, Alexander Leonidas or Eric Bugenhagen. The answer was even funnier. What was the answer? We already know it's going to be the Boogs, but what would it actually say? Did it troll you for even asking the question? That's the real question. I'm male, but my limbs look weak like a child or a woman, not investigating. Right. Keith, I agree. If you remove the weight classes in combat sports, it would be a bunch of 6'3" guys beating up everyone else. Some people consider that. Why would that be a black pill? I don't understand how that's the black pill. That's just common understanding of fighting sports. All boxing, all MMA, everything would be all 6'3" guys weighing 250 plus. The guys who were winning the Super Bowl, the linemen, would then be winning MMA and pro boxing. All the dudes you see at the Super Bowl on the line, those would be all your. They would be whooping Conor McGregor. They'd be whooping him like a redheaded stepchild. All right. I totally said that. That was not right. That was wrong of me. That was wrong, and I should feel bad. It's funny when you play those guitars because your sounds make it tiny, like little kids toy guitar. I don't know about that. What? I'm Ginger too. I'm highly offended. Yeah, man. But are you a stepchild? He's like, yeah, I'm a stepchild too. Well, you know what I'm talking about then already. The bigger and taller you are, the quicker you gas out. They don't got to weave and wait. Yeah, this is used to being clowned on. It's all good though, man. So you understand. Do you have any goals to get better at it? I'm not quantifying the exact metrics. I want to continue to just get better at it in general. Right? Stronger, faster, better. Here's to the guitar, brother. Right. Sorry, I'm ridiculous. I can't sometimes. I can't with myself. All right. I don't know why y'all put up with me, to be honest. With the stuff I say in my live streams. Y'all should be offended. I'd be offended. Right. All right. Man, this one's a little slow. It was picking up and then it got slow. So Joe, what was the answer? You didn't tell us what the answer was. I've been waiting for the answer. I was like, you dropped this whole thing and we're waiting for the punchline about the Leonidas versus the boobs. I mean, Keith has a point. Keith is right. That's not how it works, dude. That's a terrible question. Well, because weight classes, that's the whole thing. Weight classes exist for a reason. You know? Here's the problem, Alan. They're not out in an open field. They're in a ring. The ball clears your height. I don't really know how high it's going. I'm just tossing it. Right? How about the strongman Pujowski and Conor and McGregor in a ring together? See how that works out. Weight classes exist for a reason. People are forgetting this. Like they say this as if we don't already know the outcome. There is a reason those weight classes still exist in fighting sports. If this other scenario was true and it was equal, they would just get rid of the weight classes. Okay? We need to be clear on that. There's a reason these weight classes still exist in all these sports and they don't get rid of them. Like, I think, again, people forget this. We're talking about real. Sumo wrestling is its own weird thing, though. Alan, we're talking about MMA. We're talking about UFC. We're talking about boxing. You know, problem is you're in a ring with hard confines. Do you not understand that? You're only dancing so far before the big guy just pushes you into a corner. Because again, we're not understanding when we say the big guys, we're not saying, oh, the 180-pound guy versus Conor McGregor. We're talking, you take Brian Shaw and you have him train martial arts for 5 years. Or you take any of those NFL linemen, right? Dudes who are topping 300 pounds, strong as hell, with good conditioning and 6'5". Like, are we pretending those guys are out of shape? How about anybody playing at the Super Bowl is out of shape? Yeah. Yeah. And nobody said a 500-pound guy. We said an NFL lineman, Alan. No, this is delusional. Delusional. You must come from one of those martial arts circles where these guys believe this. These weight classes exist for a reason. Because a 500-pound guy's all fat, right? The mass is never going to, muscle mass is never going to work against you in a ring when you're a skilled fighter. Mm-hmm. Again, those weight classes exist for a reason. So anyone who makes this counter argument, watch what happens if you ever convince them to remove it. Notice he had to pick a fat guy off of, the Biggest Loser. He didn't go with actual strength athletes. Yeah, because he had to pick a fat guy. He had to go straight sumo wrestler here. Instead of saying, yeah, no, dude, 250-pound, 300-pound lineman, strongman, they go train MMA for 5 years. Yeah, more like, so that's why I kind of said, look, dude, it's going to be 6'3", 250-pound guys are going to dominate. They would absolutely dominate all those fighting sports if weight classes are removed. And I mean, it wouldn't even be, it would be disgusting, right? All those lightweight fighters would be leaving in a stretcher. Mm-mm. They're going to leave in a stretcher. They're not even going to be walking out on their own 2 feet. And I've told this story many times. Shall I retell the story of something I observed in high school? And I think it highlights quite perfectly. I've told this story quite a few times when this topic comes up. The point where, yeah, your skill when the certain size levels reach just becomes completely irrelevant. Watch this Asian kid pick a fight with one of the Goths over at the little smokers wall where they all smoked when I was in high school. It's like 16. The Goth dude in his big trench coat, he was about 6'5", 300 pounds, 6'4", so he was a big dude. I'm just ballparking in high school. Wasn't a football player. I'm not aware if he lifted weights or anything. He was just a big dude. Big long-haired Goth smoking over there, wearing a trench coat, 6'5", like 300 pounds. Okay? Well, size and strength, Alan. We're talking size and strength. Vegan gains is weak. weak lower body anyways. We're talking athletes, not some cripple who can't walk half the time. All right, now go back over to the story. This Asian kid was a skinny dude. He's maybe 130, 140, at most 150 pounds. Short dude. He might have been 130. Picked a fight with him. He jumped up in the air and hit this guy in the chest with a beautiful roundhouse kick. He obviously had some training because he could jump up and spin and do this roundhouse kick. He hit this dude square in the chest with it. What do you think happened? Care to guess? The guy just grabbed him by the leg and hit him in the chest, and he just caught his leg. Now he has his leg in both hands. You guys remember the scene with Loki and the Hulk? And by the way, I told this story before that movie came out the first time. Remember that scene where the Hulk slams Loki? That's pretty much what happened. At what point did that skill mean anything? He slammed him on the ground and looked at him and turned around and walked off laughing. Yeah, he didn't even feel anything. He just got hit and caught the guy completely unfazed, slammed him on the ground, and laughed and just kind of walked away while the dude's laying there on the ground, like hurt. So again, stop with this stupidity. It's an argument of stupidity. And if it wasn't, they would get rid of the weight classes. But all the people who make these rules and run these venues and events know what would happen. They already know. Like, this isn't even a point of debate. They know what would happen. This is an argument from stupidity. It really is. And I get it. Martial artists want to have this idea that they can defy physics and that all their work and practice is everything. And I'm not saying it's not a great skill and they shouldn't do it, but I think people get a little delusional with it. The reason these weight classes exist, and I'm not talking about untrained people versus someone with 15 years of training. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about actual fighters. Right? Yeah, it's actually it's coping delusion, right? Hello, Coach Jason. Well, hello to you holding hands. Seems like reach is even more important than weight some of the long run. Weight and strength. Alan, just stop. Weight and strength matter. Weight and strength matter. And size and all that stuff is going to matter. And yeah, you can't use Vegan Gains because he has a really weak lower body and he has a bad leg. He's got a bad knee. Like, that doesn't work. He's not fighting anybody. He makes all these challenges to a ring. He is not fighting anybody ever. It's not going to happen. That's his craziness for publicity, challenging people in cage matches. He's not getting in a ring with anybody. It's not going to go well if they're strong or trained or both. And he knows that. Notice he's never done it. Oh, he trash talks me from what I understand on a daily basis. That's what I hear. You know? Yeah. He does mostly lives, my understanding of it. You know, all right. I think I am going to wind this one down though, because this is a little slow. I want to get my breakfast in, and so I'll get breakfast in, and I'll catch you guys later. So I'll do another stream later today. Let me end the Facebook. You guys, I already worked out. I've already done the vlog is up. All right. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. Give you guys a bicep shot before we go. Now I'm gonna go get carved up. Come on, let me stream. There it goes.